Today, we're counting down the top 10 used cars that almost no one would ever buy again, according to actual owners that we surveyed. We're talking about rides so disappointing that their owners basically said, "Hell no!" Buckle up, because this list has everything. Unreliable transmissions that self-destruct, engines that burn oil like a deep fryer, tech that glitches out, and all the regret you can handle. I'm your host, Brad Danger, and first up is the Buick Encore. And guys, real quick, do you love supercars, epic road trips, and exclusive automotive perks? Well then, you are going to love the Ideal Collective. For a limited time, you can sign up for free. Yes, free, and secure a spot to get entered into our first Ideal Car giveaway. Hurry up, pinned in the first comment is your link. Click it, and then, well, get signed up. Enjoy the rest of the show. Kicking off our list at number 10, the Buick Encore, a tiny SUV promising luxury, but puts the ick in Buick and delivers nothing but disappointment. You'd expect a Buick to please its typical older audience with comfort and reliability, right? Wrong. Consumer Reports found owner satisfaction embarrassingly low. Fewer than 60% would buy another. Clearly, more Encore owners are saying, never again. So, why the widespread disappointment? Well, for starters, performance. Powered by a feeble 1.4-liter turbocharged engine with just 138 horses, the Encore struggles like a sleepy sloth. Merging onto highways in an underpowered crossover triggers a symphony of honks as the speedometer crawls upward painfully slow. Sporty certainly doesn't apply here. Reliability issues pile up more misery. One owner called it the worst car I've ever owned, highlighting repeated cooling system problems and frequent transmission stalls. I mean, imagine expecting a premium SUV only to endure surprise breakdowns and overheating engines reminiscent of a cheap kitchen appliance. Interior quality doesn't impress either. Owners describe the cabin as cramped and cheaply finished, not exactly luxury level comfort. Unexpectedly harsh ride quality and intrusive road noise further dashed hopes of a plush, Buick-worthy experience. Buyers expecting a baby Cadillac ended up feeling stuck with a badge-engineered Chevy Trax instead. Between lackluster performance, disappointing interiors, and constant mechanical headaches, Encore owners had plenty of reasons to avoid repeating the experience. Buick aimed for younger buyers, but instead mainly attracted regret. Time to move on to something less disappointing. Number 9 is a Jeep Cherokee, not the classic boxy XJ from the 90s, but the more modern 2014 to 2020 version. Intended to combine rugged Jeep appeal with suburban comfort, it instead left owners deeply frustrated. Owner surveys revealed abysmal satisfaction scores so low, even hardcore Jeep fans vowed, nah. The main villain, the infamous 9-speed automatic transmission. Designed for fuel efficiency, it instead became notorious for erratic shifts, gear hunting, jolting, and outright failures. Cherokee spent more time getting software updates at dealerships than off-road adventures. One owner user blatantly stated, the regular Cherokee is Fiat-based and not reliable, while another compared ownership to playing Russian roulette each drive. Terrifying when an SUV randomly hesitates mid-intersection, right? But transmission woes weren't the only issue. Many Cherokees featured that 2.4-liter Tiger Shark engine, notorious for excessive oil consumption. Owners constantly had to top off their oil to avoid catastrophic engine failure, likening their exhaust to a mosquito fogger. Yeah, that's a lot of smoke. This combo of unreliable transmissions and thirsty engines created constant anxiety. Even off-road capability was disappointing. Despite Jeep's rugged reputation, the Cherokee's crossover-based construction lacked true toughness. Only the specialized Trailhawk model tackled trails well, but most Cherokee owners never ventured off the pavement. They were just too busy at the dealership. Ultimately, Cherokee drivers felt betrayed. They expected Jeep-level durability, but got unreliable Fiat Chrysler engineering. With terrible satisfaction ratings, it's no surprise that Jeep discontinued the Cherokee by 23. When even Jeep enthusiasts say avoid it, you know the Cherokee deserves its infamous spot here. Number 8 is the Nissan Frontier, the truck that time forgot. Seriously, this pickup remained virtually unchanged from 2005 all the way to 2020, making it essentially a brand new antique. Owners weren't exactly thrilled about driving a vehicle designed during the MySpace era. Hi Tom, he's my only friend. And Consumer Reports placed Frontier near the bottom for mid-sized truck owner satisfaction. Why the regret? Well, first, its ancient design brought ancient problems. One infamous issue was humorously named the strawberry milkshake of death, where internal radiator failures mixed coolant with transmission fluid, creating a disastrous pink cocktail that destroyed transmissions. Owners faced huge repair bills, especially out of warranty. Definitely not great for brand loyalty. Even if you avoided that nightmare, the Frontier was thirsty on fuel and embarrassingly outdated. Competitors offered backup cameras, modern infotainment, and advanced safety features, while Frontier drivers settled for a 6-CD changer and Bush-era cabin design. Imagine sitting in a dated, plasticky interior regretting not choosing a Tacoma. Reliability was okay aside from the radiator fiasco, but still had its issues, like timing chain tensioner problems in the V6 models and premature wear in the suspension components. Smaller annoyances such as leaking axle seals and failing door locks added insult to injury. By the time that Nissan finally redesigned the Frontier in 2022, owners had already sworn this thing off. The Frontier earned its spot not through a single catastrophic failure, but through countless small frustrations and major design oversights. Owners clearly wanted a modern truck, not an outdated relic. At number 7, the Nissan Altima, a midsize sedan that's everywhere, from rental fleets to Uber lines, and you always see them without plates on them. They're just crazy. You'd think something this common must be reliable, right? Well, think again. Only about half of Altima owners surveyed by Consumer Reports said that they'd buy one again. Considering the sheer volume sold, that is a huge wave of regret. The big villain behind the frustrations, well, is the Nissan infamous CVT, or continuously variable transmission, humorously dubbed the continuously vexing transmission by disgruntled owners. CVT failures in the Altima happen predictably, often well before 100,000 miles. Symptoms included shuddering, slipping, overheating, and even total transmission failure. I mean, just imagine driving down the highway in your Altima and then suddenly revs high without accelerating, turning a peaceful drive into a terrifying ordeal with traffic bearing down on you. Countless Altima drivers found themselves facing costly repairs, frequently paying over $3,000 multiple times. It's a lot of dough. It got so severe that Nissan extended warranties and faced numerous lawsuits. As one owner empathetically stated after costly transmission repairs, "Well, I'm never going to buy another Nissan." But the troubles, they don't end there. Beyond transmission nightmares, the Altima offers a bland driving experience as a whole. You know, uncomfortable seats, excessive road noise, an interior screaming fleet vehicle. Frequent recalls from quirky issues like faulty suspension components, electrical gremlins, and peeling paint only added to owner frustrations. The Altima became a meme among car enthusiasts. Perfectly fine as a rental, but not worth spending your own money on again. Unless you enjoy transmission roulette and uninspiring drives, you'll likely want to steer clear next time. Nissan scores a hat trick at number 6 with the Rogue Sport. Confused? Yeah, that's understandable. This smaller cousin of the regular Rogue, imported from Europe, is the Nissan Qashqai. I think that's Qashqai. I don't know. How do you say that? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, it earned the sport badge ironically because it's about as sporty as a turtle stuck in peanut butter. Owner satisfaction for the Rogue Sport is alarmingly low, thanks largely to unmet expectations. Consumer Reports data and Reddit forums agree. Hardly anyone would repeat the purchase. And here's why. First off, performance, or lack thereof. Powered by a weak 2-liter 4-cylinder engine making 141 horses, acceleration feels painfully sluggish. Paired with Nissan's infamous CVT, it's like driving a car towing a boat anchor. Owners complained of fearful highway pass attempts, making the Sport name laughably misleading. Next, the transmission issues. Yes, the Rogue Sport shares that Sentra and Altima CVT, and it has some woes, frequently hesitating or lurching, especially uphill or on long drives. Drivers face a dreaded limp mode way too often, where the car drastically reduces power, requiring frequent dealership visits for costly repairs and software updates. Finally, space and build quality disappointment. Although designed for city driving, many buyers found the Rogue Sport too cramped and cheaply finished for its price. Hard plastics and limited cargo space made competitors like the Mazda CX-5 or Honda HR-V seem vastly superior. These factors combined, slow engine, unreliable transmission, and budget interior led Nissan to quietly drop the Rogue Sport from its US lineup after 2022. Owners, meanwhile, happily traded up to something actually capable of outrunning a bicycle. At number 5, yes, the Volkswagen Atlas, a massive 3-row SUV, and according to many owners, about as reliable as a house of cards. Volkswagen aimed to dominate the family SUV market with the Atlas, making it roomy and comfy, but owners quickly realized it's more titanic than terrific, impressive until things inevitably go go wrong. Consumer Reports surveys reveal a dismal satisfaction rate, with just about 38% of Atlas Cross Sport owners willing to buy another. Once the initial excitement faded, well, regret quickly set in. Why? Reliability issues, lots of them. Yes, owners faced numerous recalls and constant repairs. Complaints ranged from failing fuel pumps and leaky radiators to faulty sensors and glitchy electronics. One frustrated owner noted their 2020 Atlas was constantly in the shop. Another reported being on their third water pump before hitting 50,000 miles. Driving the Atlas isn't exactly thrilling either. Instead of precise German engineering, drivers got something more akin to piloting a massive, wallowing bus. Early V6 models were fuel guzzlers, while the later turbocharged 2-liter struggled to move its hefty mass adequately. Even small annoyances piled up: infotainment crashes, malfunctioning start-stop systems, and interior parts that quickly became creaky or just straight up broke. Online forums overflowed with unhappy owners recalling Volkswagen's infamous reliability troubles. It's especially concerning for families, making the Atlas's frequent check engine lights utterly frustrating. With fewer than half of owners willing to repeat the Atlas experience, it's clear this SUV has become synonymous with disappointment rather than dependability. Okay, number 4 is the Kia Forte, a compact car whose name literally means strength, yet ironically hits a very weak note with owners. Consumer Reports revealed only 40% of Forte owners would choose a Forte again, leaving over half saying, once was enough. Let's see why. Initially, the Forte seems like a winner. Affordable, stylish, packed with features, and backed by Kia's great warranty, but soon, small annoyances turned satisfaction into regret. First off, ride quality. Yes, Kia marketed as sporty, but many owners described it as brutally harsh, feeling every pothole like punches to the spine. One owner humorously complained each bump made their back whisper, "Help." Not exactly the comfortable cruiser buyers expected. Noise was another major gripe. Owners found the Forte's cabin unbearably loud at highway speeds, equating it to sitting inside a jet engine test facility. Constant road noise made long drives exhausting, completely ruining any chance of a peaceful commute. Reliability issues also haunted some Forte owners. Notably, engine troubles plagued certain models. Some unlucky buyers experienced engine failures prematurely, including the infamous Hyundai Kia 2.4-liter problems, excessive oil consumption, engine knocking, and recalls. Facing a blown engine at relatively low miles would understandably sour anyone's experience. Lastly, the Forte became a notorious theft magnet. I don't know why you'd steal this thing. Certain trims lacked immobilizers, making them easy targets for theft. The infamous Kia Boys TikTok trend demonstrated how to hotwire Fortes with just a USB cable. This vulnerability skyrocketed insurance premiums, pushing frustrated owners towards alternative brands. In short, the Forte offered initial value, but ultimately delivered enough frustration to push buyers away permanently. We're in the top 3 now, and surprise, surprise, it is a Nissan again. Number 3 is the Nissan Sentra, specifically the 2013 through 2019 models. Supposedly a basic, affordable commuter car, the Sentra instead became infamous among owners. Consumer Reports showed just 39% would buy another, shockingly low for something so simple. Usually buyers say, yeah, it was fine, but here they're screaming, please. Nah, I don't want this ever again. The villain behind Sentra's downfall, the notorious CVT transmission. Smaller than the Altima's CVT, but equally disastrous, the Sentra transmission routinely failed around 60,000 miles. Reddit overflowed with nightmare stories. Browsing through Reddit, you can find nightmare stories left and right. Cars shuddering uncontrollably, randomly losing power, or refusing to accelerate beyond 40 miles per hour. This is a car you wouldn't want to be stuck dead in. Worse yet, dealers casually quoted $4,000 repairs as common. Common problems shouldn't cost that much. Beyond transmission tears, the Sentra also featured an anemic 1.8-liter engine, barely capable of climbing hills or carrying passengers. Sluggish performance combined with interior disappointments, cheap, rattling materials, missing features like touchscreens or proper Bluetooth, left buyers feeling straight up ripped off. Reliability didn't stop there. Owners regularly battled failing alternators, faulty sensors, leaky axles, and endless small issues. By 2017, resale values plummeted as frustrated owners flooded used markets. Nissan redesigned the Sentra for 2020, but for burned buyers, it was way too late. The Sentra perfectly embodies automotive regret: unreliable, unpleasant, and underwhelming. Nissan, we seriously need to talk. You've been on this list a lot. At number 2, we've got the Jeep Compass. Truly a vehicle of shattered dreams, intended as a budget-friendly Jeep crossover, it instead became a masterclass in disappointment. Consumer Reports ranked owner satisfaction as rock bottom, tied with the infamous Ford Focus, which I wonder what's coming up next. Owners gave it just 1 star, meaning "I deeply regret this decision," one owner confessed. "Buying a 2018 Jeep Compass has been my biggest regret in life." Ouch. So, what makes the Compass a complete absence? Early Compass models from 2007 to 2016 suffered from a catastrophic CVT transmission that slipped, overheated, and regularly failed. Later, Jeep introduced 6-speed and 9-speed automatics, but these too had problems: jerky shifts, constant confusion, and frequent dealer visits. One frustrated owner joked that they knew their service manager on a first-name basis. Not a good thing. Performance was another huge letdown. Jeep's weak 4-cylinder engine makes more noise than power. Owners described acceleration as trash, painfully slow, and embarrassing on the freeway. Passing other cars required patience, prayers, and perhaps gravity's help. Build quality? Well, it didn't help either. Early interiors, they were cheap, rattly, and downright ugly. Early newer models suffered random water leaks and mystery warning lights. Compass owners expected rugged Jeep durability, and they felt betrayed. Hardcore Jeep fans mockingly labeled it the cheap Compass. The Compass earned near zero repeat buyers, as owners vowed loudly online they would never buy this thing again. Despite Jeep's attempt to refresh it, endless mechanical issues, sluggish performance, and cheap build quality solidified its terrible reputation. Compass owners have truly suffered enough. I feel bad for you. And now it's time for a little dishonorable mention, baby. Yes, before we unveil the #1 king of automotive regret, let's hit some quick dishonorable mentions. Cars that narrowly missed out on our top 10 but still earned plenty of online roasting. First up is the Volkswagen Tiguan from 2009 to 2017. Owners faced serious reliability headaches like failing ignition coils, water pump leaks, and worst of all, a notorious timing chain tensioner flaw that could literally grenade the engine at just 60,000 miles. One unfortunate owner described a $6,000 engine replacement nightmare. Combine these costly repairs with thirsty fuel economy, and it's easy to see why buyers quickly bailed on this supposedly cute ute. Fun fact, Tiguan combines tiger and iguana. Ironically, an actual tiger-iguana hybrid might prove more dependable. Next is the Hyundai Elantra. Owners revealed a fiercely divided crowd, but the unhappy ones were especially vocal. Owners complained bitterly about piston slap, engine recalls, and excessive oil consumption. Even worse, the Elantra became a notorious theft magnet due to its lack of immobilizer, sending insurance rates through the sunroof. One frustrated owner laminated sluggish performance, poor shifting, and instantly braking sensors, summing it up perfectly: expensive headaches from day to day. Then you have the Mercedes C-Class that's shockingly making this dishonorable list too. Despite the luxury bad, owners battled endless electrical gremlins, glitchy screens, malfunctioning sensors, and costly out-of-warranty repairs. One recent owner admitted his Benz had so many electronic issues he considered ditching it entirely into a lake. A tough pill for luxury buyers to swallow. And lastly, the Volkswagen Jetta. VW's cost-cutting turned this once solid sedan into a cheap-feeling econobox. Drum brakes, plastic interiors, constant electrical issues, and broken window regulators left owners disappointed. One owner even joked the flawed Jetta made the troubled Taos SUV look good. Okay, and that is your dishonorable mentions. Now, drumroll please, the #1 worst used car. Yes, here it is, the 2012 Plus Ford Focus. Now focus on me, because once a popular compact car, the Focus now reigns as the ultimate never will you buy this thing ever again ride. Why? 2 words. Power shift transmission. 2 words. Ford aimed for fuel efficiency by sticking a dual clutch automatic gearbox, basically a manual, into the Focus. The result? Absolute chaos. Owners faced relentless jerking, shuddering, and hesitation from day one. Like the car had permanent hiccups. Imagine your vehicle lunging wildly in parking lots or rolling back during hill starts, nearly kissing the BMW behind you. That ain't gonna be a cheap fix. One New York Times reviewer politely described it as a often in the wrong gear, causing jerks in a lethargic acceleration type of car. Translation, absolute garbage. But it gets even worse. These transmissions frequently failed. Clutch packs wore prematurely, seals leaked, and control modules malfunctioned. Owners returned repeatedly for repairs, enduring costly fixes only to face the same nightmare weeks later. Forums exploded with angry owners venting about their frustrations, calling Ford's repeat failures completely unethical and screaming, "This is the car that should have never been built." Consumer Reports gave the Focus a dismal 1 out of 5 rating, reflecting virtually zero repeat buyers. And Ford faced lawsuits, issued buybacks, and eventually abandoned the compact car market entirely. The Focus brand permanently tarnished. So, if you're a Focus survivor, our condolences here at Ideal. You endured the infamous power shit transmission, and now cue the sad trombone for the car no one wants twice. And there you have it, folks. The top 10 used cars that made their owners scream, "I will never buy this thing again." Have you ever owned one? Let us know the good, the bad, the ugly in the comments below. And did we miss any? Let us know as well. Also, go to winthisIdealcar.com to win our ideal car. Also, if you enjoyed the vid, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and check out these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad Danger. This is Ideal. We'll catch you next week, and promise me one thing. Keep living the Ideal lifestyle.